Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast. It's Dave, Numb Bills Fan on Twitter.
And Adam, I'm Numb Bills Adam D on Twitter. We're back again. The fish got squished.
The Buffalo Bills crushed the fish.
What a game. 33-17. Just everything we wanted to see happened.
A lot of guys on offense came back. You got to figure you came back in injury-wise, offensively, 100% minus Percy Harvin.
Yeah, Percy got moved to the injured reserve.
And Goodwin.
Goodwin's on the injured reserve. But yeah, you got Tyrod coming in looking healthy as hell, man. What a performance by that guy. Another one, Carlos Williams. Wow. I mean, he's setting all these milestones. We'll talk about that later. But what a day. And then Sammy Watkins putting his money where his mouth is, silencing the haters.
Well, and the last one injured to be back is really, I mean, you got two guys. You got Santrell Henderson finally being back. You got John Miller off the death in the family. You got Sammy Watkins back. And don't forget, McCoy, even though he was back, I want to consider him, hey, he had another couple weeks. He did go out with a shoulder injury earlier, I believe, in the game. You would know more than me watching it.
Yes.
And then he went out again.
He said he'll be, quote-unquote, fine for Thursday. That's not from a coach or the training staff, though.
I love man. Me and Dave Larson were talking about that, like how much of a G he is in his press conferences and answers, and he'll give the media what they want. He'll give them some attention, but don't try to throw anything by him. He's going to pick up on it. And if he says he's fine, he's going to be out there and he's going to make a difference. And Rex even said he wanted to go back in.
You gotta love his hunger for success. You know, he really wants to get it done. And I mean, even going out with the shoulder, he still went 112 yards yesterday.
And he finally the whole van ride to the game, we're talking, man, and I've talked with you a million times. He is a shoestring tackle away from just busting off for a touchdown, and he finally got it.
Yeah.
He finally got it.
Yes, he did.
And it was so sweet, and it's just seeing everybody back, it's like you could just literally just do that, just breathe. You're like, all right. This is the offensive line we want to come in with, and they played a hell of a game, I thought. They really looked good together. Like, they looked like they have something to work on, and I don't know if that's because Aaron Cromer's back the last couple weeks or what, but
that's a very good point. I mean, there were some injuries and absences along the offensive line, player-wise, but, you know, you got to acknowledge that their coach was suspended the first 6 games. You know, I think we're gonna see more production from that line, 100% for sure. It's only gonna get better.
I hope so.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm really seeing it come together. You know, Incognito gets my vote for comeback player of the year. I mean,
yeah.
Eric Berry maybe gets my vote for comeback player of the year. He had a real nasty situation, but in Buffalo, hands down.
Hey, didn't Michael Vick get nominated? I could be talking out of my ass right now for the record, but that dude killed dogs, did some jail time, and came back. And Richie Incognito, I'm not going to sympathize with sexual harassment, but I mean, come on. A bullying scandal? It's like the same. You know, I guess the old term people would use, which isn't a PC term, is, you know, you get the typical guys, oh, those fruitcakes, this is football, this is, you know, these fruitcakes, you guys are being fruitcakes. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a locker room.
Yeah.
And it's like, so he was pretty much the poster child of bullying, and it's like people are shocked that he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. The dude has had time to heal up from his injuries, and he was playing the best ball of his career up until that point. So, really, why? Like, I'm not surprised. You and I have been saying this the whole time. I'm not surprised how good and how dependable Richie Incognito is, and he is the best player on offense. Consistently the best player. health-wise, everything across the board. He's consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, still grading out real high. So, yeah, let's talk about this offense yesterday, though. 420 yards total offense. And a fun little fact, fun little milestone, one of the ones I mentioned that we would talk about later, I'll talk about now. Yesterday was the first time in NFL history, league history, that a team has had 2 running backs with 100-plus yards and a wide receiver with 150-plus yards in the same game. That's Shady with 112, Carlos with 110, and then Sammy catching 8 balls for 168. Wow.
Wow is right. Wow is right. And I like that Sammy was targeted. And Tyrod Taylor was 11 for 12, or was it higher than that?
11 to 12. And 8 of those went to Sammy. He was targeted 8 times, didn't miss on a single one of them. I think he knew that after everything that had transpired the last couple of weeks, that he needed to go out there and he needed to have that kind of game. And for how much people were angry with his comments, they were chanting his name yesterday.
People got to get over it. And we already touched on the last podcast, but hey, he's going to be called out, and it's unfair. He didn't choose to be taken that highly with those amount of picks. You got to lay off him. And he's a human being. And all because people make all this money, they're like, oh, you got to be able to take it. No, they don't. Sometimes they're going to fire back and tell you to shut the hell up.
Yeah, this morning Pro Football Focus did some of their position or best player at every position for this week, and him and Antonio Brown shared the wide receiver spot. So, hell of a game, Sammy. We're glad you're out there.
We know you can do it, and it's nice just seeing him get targeted. He said on the bobbled ball, he actually lost the ball in the light, and he tipped it up. He felt it hit his fingertips, and he tipped it towards himself. So if you're, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
That was right in front of me, and, man, it was crazy. It was so crazy. And that long touchdown bomb he had, Tyrod Taylor unloaded that, and he just put on this burst of speed. Like, oh, shit, there's the ball. And I thought that ball was going to be overthrown. I'm like, there's no way. No way. And now, you want to know what this shows me? With Sammy Watkins, I said it before. I don't know if he's talking about a podcast, but amongst friends, you know what? I don't mind that he said all that. I don't mind he said whatever. Get me the ball. And the way I want to say is, okay, you want the ball? Give the guy all the targets. Let's see if he can handle it. Let's just say I didn't expect that. Nobody else expected that. I even did DraftKings, and I picked Robert Woods. I thought Sammy Watkins would be howling out there.
Oh, that's rough, man. Robert didn't even get a target.
Robert got me 0 points.
If I'm not mistaken.
And I had Antonio Brown and D'Angelo Williams on my DraftKings, and they went off yesterday, by the way, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But point being, Sammy Watkins was just, he put his money where his mouth is. Let's just say that. He put it up.
Hey, that's what I said.
Did you? All right. This guy once told me he put his money where his mouth is, because he was the first one to come up with that term. So I really thought it was great to see him just ball out and do his thing. When he was targeted, he caught the ball.
Yep.
That's all I care about.
No drops, no misses.
And then if he does fail, then that kid is humble and he needs to go work and work on himself. But he didn't. He showed up. He's like, hey, you picked me. Lean on me a little bit. Don't be shy about it. Throw it up there. Tyrod Taylor gave him a chance, and Tyrod Taylor giving these guys a chance is a difference in the offense from now in last week against Jacksonville Jaguars and previous Bills quarterbacks. Fitzpatrick always gave a guy a chance. Trent Edwards wouldn't. Lossman was always throwing bombs or trying to. But either way, it's nice to see these guys back, and the difference between Tyrod and EJ is off the charts. Off the charts.
Oh, it doesn't even look like the same football team. Again, a lot of the guys that are supporting Tyrod came back this week too, but he just seems to really have the respect of the guys he's sharing the field with, he's sharing the huddle with. The huddle really seems to follow him.
You ever
he's like magnetic the way he is with his teammates.
Did you hear what the teammates say about him? And I almost feel bad for EJ, but they're Sammy Watkins. Oh, it's great to have Tyrod back. He throws up a good ball, and and it's kind of like ooh, like a double, jab cross on EJ Manuel. You know what I mean? Just it's nice to have him back, and it's nice to pretty much just saying put a ball on me that's catchable. Give me a fair shot at the ball. And EJ will give you a chance, but actually I take that back. I don't even want to get in that. But other guys are saying that too. It's great to have Tyrod back. LaShawn talks really high about Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. How can you not though? The guy is burning his way up the charts in the league. He's got the highest completion percentage in the entire league right now. He's completing 71.8% of his passes. And that is, like I said, number one in the league of quarterbacks with 100 or more pass attempts. So real quarterbacks, not any of these. Oh, I slid in, threw 8 passes and completed all.
He did only throw 12 times, but hey, I don't give a.
But the run game was working, and if it's working, you keep doing it. You keep going. He also had 44 yards on the ground. So put that on top of 181 yards passing. He's over 200 yards on the day. What a guy.
And you know what's cool too is they did not hold him back.
No,
Taylor. What I think this coaching staff does with their guys is like I know what the hell I'm talking about. I feel like with Tyrod Taylor, I should say, is they just let him. They probably told him, do what you're comfortable with. Just do what you're comfortable with. You know what I mean? If you feel like you can run and make it, just be smart about it. Get out. They don't kind of. Everybody wants to make a big deal. Hey, did you tell Tyrod Taylor to get down? That's like the media's best question ever. Hey, did you tell Tyrod to get down or change up your offensive scheme? No, we told Tyrod to get blasted by Sue. That's what we told him to do. You see Sue out there? The jersey with the 3 letters on the back? Yeah. Even if he's not facing you, go after him and let him plow you.
Did you catch any of the stuff later last night or today about what he said? And you can see it clear as day on the replay, what he said to the refs after that one play where he had Tyrod kind of held him there until Tyrod flipped the ball away. You know which play I'm talking about?
Yeah, I thought he actually helped Tyrod up.
Yeah, he did, and he was really frustrated. He was waiting for the refs to call that. After the play, if you watch the replay, he goes up to the ref and he says, "I'll fucking slam him next time."
Why did they? I don't understand though.
Well, he was trying to not. He was trying not to get called for the horse collar tackle after he had his hands on him.
Yeah, but there is no horse collar tackle in the pocket.
No, that had moved out of the pocket, which is why Tyrod was eventually able to flip the ball away.
Okay.
He was frustrated. He was waiting for a whistle, and Tyrod got away and got. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
So then he went up to the ref after the play and was like, "Next time I'll slam his fucking ass." You can see it clear as day on his lips.
Wow, F-bomb and all.
F-bomb and all.
Oh, if that was the Bills, there'd be a flag.
Oh,
there'd be a flag,
dude.
15 yards. Sue, and how does Sue get away with that flag?
Yeah,
how does Sue of all people get away with that? Oh, coincidentally, one guy has stopped or stepped on or kicked 3 or 4 players or quarterbacks, and now we're gonna give him a pass.
He's kicking helmets off and all types of stuff.
We're just gonna give him a pass. No, that's Sue. That's Donkey Kong. He's here to crush you.
Anyways, to really summarize the day on offense, the run game is finally doing what it needs to do. What a huge day! I mean, you had Shady get in on the 48-yard touchdown run there. Carlos had the long one, 38 yards. He was a shoestring tackle away from scoring 3 touchdowns yesterday. He's only the fourth rookie to score, a touchdown in each of his first 5 games in the NFL.
Right.
What a guy. And I mean, we're finally seeing it. Between Shady and Carlos, they had 25 carries. Tyrod was 10 more. Again, Tyrod only passed the ball 12 times. We're really seeing that ground and pound run first defense that everyone was looking for coming out of the offseason.
If anything, it's shaping out to be exactly what we wanted, which is a strong running game where the pass can complement it at the same time.
Right, and our quarterback is playing lights out. He completed 91% of his passes yesterday.
And he did only throw it 12 times, but I don't care because when there was a third down, they just seemed to be converting.
Yeah.
There was not many 3-and-outs.
He is so good on third down.
And just to give that defense a break, but I mean, just offensively, the team was what we were hoping for. Those two are great. I mean, I look at Carlos Williams like, love Fred Jackson. But he has the same vision as Fred Jackson, it seems. Fred probably has him edgewise a little bit, but I don't know because he has such the vision combined with the burst and the toughness.
I love that the commentators yesterday compared him to a deranged rhinoceros, a deranged rhino. That's. I hope that sticks with them. That'll be great. That's way better than muscle hamster.
I guess.
But I mean, oh my god.
Yeah, he looked great. I mean, he's so powerful. And out there with McCoy makes something out of nothing. I mean, the way that kid moves, it was just great. And that offense overall it felt just great. Like no matter what, with Tyrod Taylor back there and the playmakers and actually using the playmakers. You had Felton out there for over 50% of the time too.
Yeah, I was really glad to see them get him more involved. He actually voiced some frustration with his role in the offense earlier in the week. I don't know if you
did he really
saw any of that, but yeah, he was the most recent guy to voice his frustration. I mean, all I gotta say is these guys, you can have whatever opinion about them saying something publicly about the way the team's being coached. But so far, these guys have been right. Sammy says, I need the football. When I get the football, we win. Give him the ball 8 times yesterday. We won by a lot. Felton says, I need to get involved. We could be doing bigger things on the run game. They get him out there. And we have our best day on the ground since who knows when. Who knows when the last time the Bills had more than 250
This
yards
is
on
like
the ground.
this is what we envision run game wise.
Right, and
Spiller and Jackson. Spiller and Jackson cannot touch McCoy. And Williams.
Then you can't.
Like, no way. It's not even close.
And you can't even leave Tyrod out of that run game equation. You can't not talk about a guy who's still getting 10 carries a game.
It's crazy.
It's great. I mean, it's really a 3-headed attack.
I've been saying it too, and I still wish it a little bit yesterday. I still wish they ran the ball more. But the thing is they got the explosive plays as far as run game wise. They just the offensive line did a much better job, and I would take this offensive line up against the Jaguars. They'd take it up against the Bengals, no problem. I don't think they would beat the Bengals, but they would be give them a way better chance any given Sunday, as they say.
They do say that.
But there was some frustration flipping sides of the ball on my end with the defense. I was F-bombing a lot in the stadium, and when you look at the stats again at the end of it, is it really that bad? No, because they only gave up 17 points, but not for nothing. they got their first 2 drives. The Dolphins got touchdowns off penalties, and then you get the 99, or not 99 yards, but they drove all the way down to the 1.
Yeah.
And Gilmore gets a pass interference call. They decide to go for it, and Gilmore does a great job, steps up, knocks the ball out.
Yeah, and I mean, I like how Gilmore played that. Either way, they had enough time to get one more play off. He's not moving the ball up very much, and he's for sure shutting down that touchdown. So good play even on that pass interference. Now, one thing that really pissed me off, just to go back to the offense for 1 second, was that pass interference call on Sammy Watkins. What a little slip of the finger that was.
Well, while we're at it, let's just cross pass interference calls anyways. I mean, the Bills have some knack with the refs defensively. I do not get it. Even in slow motion, Stephon Gilmore grabbing dude's jersey in slow motion was blah. So reset, that's how long? Blah, in slow motion.
Yeah.
And really it was like, but he let go. He let go of the jersey. And in slow motion, it looked slow. So it's like, come on. And I understand you want to be ticky-tack, but then Stephon Gilmore gets clearly shoved in the back out of a play and just right in front of him. No flag.
Well, of course not.
And there was and it goes both ways. There was a holding that was blatant that was missed for Sammy's touchdown. But again, the refs are an issue. Sammy's interference call.
With the exception of the couple pass interference calls, I thought this game was pretty well officiated, truthfully.
I guess if you compare it to the other games, but I still want to see if you're going to be ticky-tacky on one side, you better be ticky-tacky on the other. And it wasn't always the case. The Bills finally had a game without special teams penalties for a first.
There was one. First quarter, I think it was maybe even that first drive, the opening drive there, they were lined up in punt formation, and A.J. Tarpley had a little false start.
Again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
But that, considering how things have been going, I can live with that. I can live with a little false start on a punt. No big deal.
You know what? That penalty don't count. It was just all, hey, Schmitty said he wanted a little more room. Yeah. I gave Schmitty a little more room.
Schmidt
That's what he
just
did.
Needed 5 more yards.
5 more yards.
5 more yards.
5 more yards.
No, the penalties are still a bit of an issue though. If you look at the day,
especially the first drive,
the Dolphins scored 3 times. They scored 2 touchdowns. They scored a field goal. On each of those drives, there was a penalty that kept that drive going for the Dolphins. The first touchdown drive there in the second quarter, you had the 15-yard face mask call on Corbin Bryant. That ended in a touchdown. Then the third quarter, you had the unnecessary roughness on Hughes, which gave the Dolphins a first down at the 7-yard line. That was half a distance to the goal on that one. That resulted in a touchdown. Then again in the fourth, you had pass interference on Graham. That's a 15-yard touchdown that resulted in a field goal. So all 3 of those scoring drives had big penalties associated with them. And that's one of those things where you start looking at it, and if you can eliminate those mistakes, maybe this game isn't 33-17, it's 33-7. You know what I mean? These are the things that we got to overcome. And yeah, it feels good to see a team come in and dominate a game like this. But you got to understand, too, that this is a team that's going through a coaching staff change. They've been struggling. They've been spinning their wheels. And if we're throwing away big chunks of the field like that on penalties still, it won't work against a team that is on a roll. We got the Patriots coming up week after the Jets here. And if we're giving Tom Brady those first downs, if we're giving him that situation before halftime, he's not gonna miss the end zone on that. He's not gonna Tannehill it. A guy like Tom Brady, a top level quarterback is going to make those points appear.
Bill Belichick is going to be just rock hard when he sees
And to be
what the Dolphins did to the Bills defense.
Yeah.
Think about it. Here's what I discovered, and we all saw. The misdirection screwed them all up. Rex even joked about it, and it's like, if you would have lost, you would have been getting crushed. And then another thing I noticed, you could say it's a little tendency, but it just needs to be done, but it takes more time. Whenever they put a guy in motion, Miami, next thing you know, the adjustment has to be passed down throughout the whole defense. And I think that's going to be what honestly could neutralize Rex Ryan's defense if he does not adjust to it. Because it's nice you're being exotic, but I mean, I feel like you can play a cover 2-man defense and you're set.
Right. With the way the defense is playing, there's a lot of
there's so much talent on defense.
There's a lot of room to tighten the bolts down. I don't want to say their play is sloppy because I've seen way worse, but they do need to clean it up. It's rough around the edges, and just teams that are better than the Dolphins will capitalize in a lot of these situations.
You know what the Bills are doing though with that? Speaking of capitalizing in them, is the Bills are actually offensively and defensively, they're just taking command when they need to. Meaning, when it was time to make that play, and we saw this against the Jaguars too, their goal line stand.
Yeah.
So it's like we can shred them at the same time. It's really an extreme to the 1 yard line bend, don't break. Get in fourth down, and you're just done. You're just done. It's over. And I think that's a statement. That is a statement across the league.
Right, and it
is a big thing. So imagine if they get their shit together.
I mean, it's badass when you're playing with a lead and you can make the other team burn the clock on themselves. The Dolphins didn't get down the field easy. They got 400 yards of offense, 397 to be exact. But that came on 29 first downs. And that's
again, a lot of referee assistance too. I mean, granted, it is the Bills did screw up.
Yeah.
They know the rules of the game, so I guess I should say I will blame the Bills defensively.
But what I'm saying, the contrast here, the Bills have 420 yards of offense, 18 first downs versus 397 on 29 first downs. They really had to kind of just limp the ball down the field a lot. They ate up a lot of their own clock. I mean, it wasn't that far off.
Well, think about it. Think about all the sweeps they're running, and Rex Ryan gave a lot of credit to Pouncey, the center for the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
He was he was doing things that are just incredible. Incredible.
What, like bouncing the ball out the back of the end zone? Wah, wah. Ooh.
Well, hey, that was
hurts.
A crowd assist, Buffalo. Way to go, Buffalo Bills fans. You got a crowd assist.
That's what you get for wearing Brian Cox's number up in the ref.
Oops.
Whoops.
But he wow, that's crazy.
I hate Brian Cox so much still to this day.
That was epic though. That the whole Brian Cox thing. If you don't know what we're talking about, Brian Cox waved the bird to Bills fans coming down the tunnel.
2 of them.
Look it up on YouTube.
2 of them. I actually saw online that Pouncey did that when he came out of the tunnel yesterday. I don't know if he actually did that or not.
No way.
I don't know. I saw that he did that. I hope he did. 1 for each point that he was about to score for us.
That would be great.
That would be great. I was jumping up and down though when that snap went high. I was like, "Oh my god, it's going out the back. It's going to be a safety. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points."
I did not know what to think because I say this every week. I can get into it. I can get a Bills win. I can get a Bills loss, and it's like once you're in the thick of the game and you're watching it, you're like, "Oh man, anything could happen. Anything could happen right now. Everybody could turn into zombies, and it'd be like that commercial. There's just an earthquake down the middle of the field. Like I'm thinking anything can happen for this Bills team to blow it. It's like okay, just what if this defense just doesn't show up? What if they can't get their communication down? Because they kept, I was scared for legitimate 10 minutes during this game because the Miami Dolphins offense was just running the ball close to the edges, really close. I mean, everybody, like Pouncey was coming off to block really nice. That offensive line for Miami was playing pretty decent for the run game. Actually, I should say really good for the run game. But now, once they become one-dimensional, because they're down so much, that's when we saw penetration from the defensive line. But sorry, I want to see a little penetration earlier. But did you have a thought on what I was saying before? You're looking at me all... unless you want to,
No, okay. I got nothing. I don't even want to...
You're looking at me like you're opening your mouth, like you have something to say, and I'm like, well... all right, anyway, so I'll keep this train moving. So it was just... That run game was really making me nervous for Miami.
Yeah, they did make some tracks here and there, but again, those drives wouldn't have been kept alive without these penalties. And moving forward, they gotta get better if they really want to keep this season.
They need to take the bend.
If they want that playoff berth, they really have to stop giving away first downs. Because if you start doing that against a team, again, not to be all over their wang, but if you do that against the Patriots in a couple weeks here, you're putting your offense in a position where they have to score 40-plus points to maybe win that game. You're putting your offense in a situation where they might score 40-plus points and lose that game. Because they will capitalize on
want
mistakes.
This offense to have the ball more. And I know we've seen in the past with Tyrod in there where the defense got the ball back a lot, but quite frankly, if E.J. Manuel was in there and they lost this game, the story would also be, hey, that defense. Because Tyrod Taylor is making that defense look better. And we need that defense to help give the offense more opportunities. Usually it's the other way. It's usually the other way around for some previous games where the offense needs to move that ball, stop doing 3 and outs. But I felt like this defense need to get the ball back to the offense. Whereas the last game with Tyrod Taylor, you didn't feel that way. You felt, you got to get more than 3 plays on the field. Even if you get 6 plays, a 6 and out, you got to let that defense rest up. But I'm still not, I got to be honest with you, I'm intrigued by the formations. Some really cool formations. There was the one where Jerry Hughes stayed in his spot, but Mario Williams was next to him. And then you had Ike Anapelli on the on Mario Williams' spot. Rex mentioned that he liked the matchup of Mario Williams on the guard. And I thought that was really cool because that's the exotic stuff I want to see from Rex. And that's just what I like about it is it represents to me and should represent to everybody else, to you guys, that he's not afraid to step outside the box. And I thought that was very interesting because there's always rules and unwritten rules. And now don't get me wrong, Perry Fuel has had that NASCAR front where he's put all defensive ends in as well.
Yeah.
Like across the line. Okay, I know this is just a little thing, but you still had the 2 defensive tackles.
Yeah.
In there as well.
Right. And I mean, it's cool to see that aggressive formation because I think. Well,
let me reset real quick. So if you're the quarterback, to have you guys picture this, if you're looking at your offensive line, and then you got your defense coming at you on your left side, you have Jerry Hughes.
Yep.
And then right where a defensive tackle would be, usually, which is the next guy in, you had Mario Williams, who's usually your defensive end on your right side.
Right.
And then you had IK and Mario Williams' spot on the right. So Hughes, Mario, I don't remember if it was Darius or Charles. I think there were.
I think you had Charles and Bryant in on that.
Were they? Because there was a defensive line rotation heavily throughout the game.
But yeah, this is that's. If it's not that formation, it's similar to the formation on the play where Hughes got the sack, not the strip sack, but the other one there.
The sack.
The sack, and I mean it was cool. Like I watched the replay of that over and over again. 7 guys in the box came on that play, and that's what all the Bills fans have been wanting to see. That's what they're paying the money for. That's what they want, and they're getting it.
And at the same time, again, I love seeing this team after the first half.
The strip sack though too. Oh my god, I watched that in slow motion probably like 30 times.
That was
it was the most clean scoop up of a fumble I have ever seen.
No, when it was done, didn't it look like that play was like meant to happen, like a basketball play? You just went down, the ball just bounced, you just grabbed it. Okay,
yeah.
Next, it like did not feel like it was something phenomenal. It was so slick.
Because of how many fumbles have you seen there? Just a train wreck, dudes falling down like.
It's like a hot potato.
Yeah. And he just like scooped it up like it was his, and he was glad to have found it. You know. That's like finding your lost wallet. It's just like, oh yes, I'm going straight to the bank. But yeah, defense did have a lot of positive points though. Again, Jerry Hughes with the fumble recovery, the 2 sacks, he had 3 tackles. Darby led the team yesterday. He had 10 tackles, followed by Graham with 8. Leotis had 6 in his return. Looked pretty good in coverage. Got torched on the one play, but aside from that, Leotis looked awesome. Secondary's still playing just great football.
And every good corner gets a ball thrown on him, so stop with that. Gilmore's not good. Dean Milak, I'm calling you out. I don't know about that Gilmore guy. Keep drinking, Dean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if you drink more into like a blackout, maybe things will make sense. One love. But I really thought defensively they stepped up in the second half, and at the end of the day, it was 17 points. And guess what? When we look at that win, 2-0 against the Dolphins, I'm not going to think, oh, they could have played a little better. Same with the Tennessee Titan game with Tyrod Taylor coming back. I don't give a shit how they do it.
Yeah. Ultimately, you want to see the team get better, though. You want to see the team progress. And I think we will.
If you look at it, defensively, it's evolving. I mean, you got Leotis McCalvin in the fold. And what was interesting is we said last podcast, a lot of time they'll have a safety drop down into the box. And with Rex, if he's known to blitz or do weird shit, or we should say exotic stuff, that safety a lot of time is going to play the same. He's going to play in man coverage or whatever role that if you had an extra cornerback out there. So that's what's cool about having another guy in there. And Leo did not, a guy in there that was a cornerback. Leo did not look out of place, man.
No, he looked real ready to be out there. He looked hungry. Did really well with his assignments.
Really, what's cool about Leo is, I think if you have not listened to Leotis McCalvin interviews, you have to. It's gold. It's great. He's hilarious. I don't think he means to be hilarious, but it's like he's so enthusiastic.
Yeah,
and it's just.
He is turned up to 11 all the time. He is full blast constantly.
Rex is like, yep, you see it in his eyes. He impressed out there, and the kid is just cerebrally there. You could tell when he's on the field, he knew where to be. He did get torched, but
just once though.
You know what was cool? The coolest part about Leo was hearing an interview with him on John Murphy's show, and John Murphy loves Leotis McCalvin. If you go back, it was either Thursday or Friday before the Miami game. Leotis McCalvin did a thing with John Murphy. Check out your BuffaloBills.com deal for that interview with the John Murphy show. But he was very accepting of the role of, hey, Darby's been playing great. If it's not broke, why fix it? I'll do whatever they want me to do. If that means only returning kick. Well, I shouldn't say only. If that means returning kicks, that's fine. I just want to help. That's it. And for a veteran, that's still at a very, very high level. I thought last year was his best he's ever looked.
Yeah. I
mean, he had enough willpower to hobble around at training camp and wheel himself around on some stuff to hang out. He's got a killer work ethic. The kid he's there. When he was younger, I didn't think he was there, but Donnie Henderson with Doug Marrone, the Bills secondary coach, was with the Doug Marrone staff. Drink twice, because that's 2 Doug Marrone references, now 3. You got you really have this awesome defensive backs coach finally coaching these guys up. I mean, look at what he did with Leotis McCalvin. A lot of guys thought he was shot. He can't make a play in the ball. It's like, well, he's on him like glue. I think it's a simple adjustment. It's just him getting. I'm not a coach. I don't know anything. But he's covering him like glue. He's not a stupid player. His movement is shifty, and he not only does he field punts, he knows where the ball is. He just doesn't know how to time it. And what Donnie Henderson tells his guys is, hey, when you know you're on the guy, when you see the ball, you're the receiver now. And it's your responsibility to get that ball. You look like you're going to say something again. But either way, it was nice to see Leotis McCalvin really step up there. Anything else on that game defensively? Anything? I just thought the team was more dynamic.
Yeah, they played well as a unit. And I think they're really starting to hit their stride now that they got their playmakers back. I think it's all up from here.
I hope so. Up next,
the big one, Rex's reunion with the Jets there. Thursday night football this week, which I love that I don't have to wait till Sunday.
Second of 3 divisional games. Next is the Patriots after this. But the Jets are coming in. People can bash on the Jets. Oh, they played easy teams. They've, explaining their record. I don't care.
They're 5-3.
The Bills lost to the Jaguars, okay? And I'm sorry. Yes, guys were hurt, but that is one.
It's not guys were hurt, though. A lot of guys were hurt.
Look, I get it, but not for nothing.
It doesn't matter.
It's not an excuse. It's not
a loss is a loss is a loss is a loss.
Right. And what if that comes down to, like, something important with the Jets? Oh, you got that one win against the pathetic Jaguars. Thanks, Jets. If the Jets are 10-6, we're 9-7.
No. I mean, it's a kick in the nuts, just like losing the Oakland game last season was.
The Miami game was a must-win. I think this Jets game is a must-win.
Yeah.
You got to kick the shit out of the Jets. You got to smear them across the pavement and drive over them. Send your buddy to drive over them.
I mean,
and come back later tonight and drive over them again.
They're a game up on us right now. We can slide right in there with a win Thursday.
How are they looking as a team, the Jets?
Well, they're actually on the flip side of where we're at. We got a bunch of guys who just came back from injury. The Jets, they're all dinged up the last couple of weeks. Fitz has got a thing going on, torn ligament in his left thumb. It's not his throwing hand, but it's making it difficult for him to take the snaps. He's looking at surgery. He's saying probably surgery Friday. May try to play Thursday night. But just to know that he's struggling, he's hurting out there, and that he might not play, and if he does play, he might not make the whole night. That's a plus for us. Their kicker, Nick Folk, he's got a strained quad. He was replaced yesterday by their punter, Ryan Quigley, who I don't really know how he did on the kickoffs. I just kind of checked the box score on this. I didn't really watch the game or anything. But he went 4 for 4 on his extra point attempts, but knowing that any long distance field goals are off the table could be a big part of defensive planning. Keep them back. They can't score.
So what you're saying is Jerry Hughes needs to go in there and just rack them.
Right.
Come on, Jerry. The old Jerry would.
Nick Mangold, their starting center, pretty damn good center. He's been having a little nagging neck injury that dates back to the 25th of last month against New England. He went out early yesterday. He says he's optimistic about playing Thursday, but I don't think you want to risk your starting center with something like a neck. So we'll see if we see him. That being out there center, I mean, that would be he was right up the center all night. Like, he'd be right in there. because that seems to be his thing now.
What are you talking about?
Hughes, just blasting up the center like that.
Um,
I'm just still so excited about that sack yesterday. Maybe it's not his thing now, but if it happened again, it could.
I
be.
just wish Super Mario Williams would have sacked Tannehill because they always play the animation at the Mario gets a sack in the stadium.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, and the Jets injuries go on too. They got a couple injuries in their secondary. Antonio Cromartie went out with a thigh injury.
He might be back though.
And
he's 50-50.
And same with starting safety Deion Bailey. He's got a little ankle going on, and he is questionable for Thursday.
Rex likes that Buster Screen kid.
Yeah, Buster Screen is.
Mention him.
He's got a good game, man. He can ball. He can ball. I remember watching him last year, and I was just like, wow, dude is good. He was playing with Cleveland there last year.
Now Revis has been getting torched. People pretty much talking nonsense. Woodson, not the one that's playing, the other one, was shredding him a little bit, saying he's looking 30. But it's still Revis. Most interesting, is that all you got for the Jets? Can I ramble now?
Yeah, that's their injuries at least. That's all I got for that.
I think what we're looking at here is a very, very interesting matchup. And Rex is downplaying it, and I don't blame him. If I'm Rex, I don't give a shit about being with the Jets. You guys can make that all up. And what's cool about Rex with the media is you can tell he understands, and he'll tell you. He knows you guys need to write articles, and he will give it to them. He will give them something to write about, and he'll even get frustrated and say, hey, just stop asking me questions about that, then pause. Maybe after this game, we'll talk about it. Maybe after I'll take some questions. Maybe. Meaning, we understand you got to write. I respect you. But I think the most interesting thing that, I don't know if everybody's talking about it, but for me, my visions of Rex Ryan is just obliterating my Buffalo Bills of Chan Gailey. And I have like a sore spot for those, as Kyle Williams said years ago, lovable losers. They don't want to be the lovable losers. They want to be winners, and back then and still. But just during the Chan Gailey years, we had Fitzpatrick, we had C.V. Johnson, we had David Nelson, we had Donald Jones, we had Marcus Easley, hoping to come to health to be that big receiver. We had C.J. Spiller, we had Fred Jackson. We had these guys, Demetrius Bell came to form as a left tackle finally. I mean, we just saw success, and I love Chan Gailey, man. He's so innovative, and people were shouting him, coming out in the pistol, his very first play. And it's like, are you kidding me? That's all the NFL is now, is a cutting-edge spread offense and just spreading things out. And Chan Gailey ran out of the spread. He just was such a good, just an innovator. And now he's with the Jets. Of all freaking teams, he's with the Jets. And it's like, for me, I want to root for him. It's almost like I wish I could root for the Jets defense for Chan and Fitzpatrick, offense, and then hope their defense just sucks. But I just really feel like we have this connection with Chan and Fitzpatrick. Maybe I'm not over it, but I still believe to this day, I could be totally wrong. Yeah, I will be pissed when Fitzpatrick throws a ball that goes Fitzpatrick. We all know what it is. I'll never forget his first pass of his third season on third year starting for the Bills, which was Chan Gailey's last year. His first pass was like an out to Chandler, and he overthrew him, and the whole stadium just booed. Just booed. It was the first. It was awful. And either way, he's so smart and intelligent and just straight up tough, and he just felt like a New Yorker, more of an upstate New York or west side, Western New York, whatever you want to say. Like he just feels like, even though he went to Harvard, everybody says it, he just tough guy, smart, easy to root for, and he grounded out. He put his head down and he went head first. And now we got to watch this guy in Chan Gailey on a team that Rex Ryan knows in and out, except for a few additions, which he still knows about. But he knows what makes those players tick. And this ain't a coach that was just there for 2-3 years. This is like a coach that was in New Jersey, for 6 years. He knows, at least with Revis and Cromartie and some other guys, he knows how the vets are going to play in what situations, what their weaknesses are. And bet your ass that this team wants to kick the living shit out of the Jets. You know they've had this circled. Now, even though Rex is downplaying it, they really do have business to take care of. And once you're in the business of winning against the Dolphins, I'm sure in your other games, I'm sure the Jets thing ain't any more special. But you bet your ass they're going to be feasting for blood. And this is a statement game. If you smear the Jets, I have a lot of confidence for the playoffs. If you don't, I'm losing a lot of confidence for the playoffs.
And I think our offense is definitely dynamic enough to put up the points against their I mean, their defense is nothing to dismiss. They have a tough D, but I think we're dynamic enough on offense to score points. And as long as we can kind of make Fitzpatrick throw the ball, if we can keep him away from setting up the run game, taking the play action out of it, taking that aspect away from them, we got this all day.
If they can stop biting on the misdirection, and I meant to go on this earlier, but
I mean they got to watch out for Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory's a beast.
Yeah, if they can keep him from getting the run game going, Fitzpatrick's gonna have a terrible day.
Chris Ivory's a good all around back. He's a solid back, and just the way that Chan Gailey is a mastermind. I mean, he put up points with bums on the Bills. We all have seen it. We know what Fitzpatrick can and can't do, but Rex Ryan said it himself. Hey, for his Monday press conference, he said, hey, get ready for another week for you guys to write about no sacks, because guess what? We're not getting any. I've played against Fitzpatrick a lot. He gets rid of the ball quick. And frankly, we've seen Rex, back to where I started, we've seen Rex obliterate the Bills. We've seen him obliterate Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I just hope he can do it again.
But we've also seen what happens when Ryan Fitzpatrick is forced to throw the ball quick. We know how that story ends too.
If they can keep, obviously this is any team, so this is general knowledge, but especially if Fitzpatrick, which goes back to the same qualm I had with Matt Castle, put him in a 3rd and long situation. Put him in I would take Kyle Orton, believe it or not, a 3rd and long situation, because he proved it last year.
Yeah.
3rd and 7, 4th and 17, whatever. Going off Kyle Orton last year on some shit. He gave the guys a chance. Now Fitz will too, but Fitz's deep ball is not nearly as accurate as Orton, believe it or not. I'm not saying Orton is like Nolan Ryan over here, but I'm just saying with accuracy, Fitzpatrick has his limitations, and if you put him in 3rd and long, we've seen it as Bills fans over and over again. It's over. It's just over.
Yeah.
Let them take a shit on themselves. That's it. Play a sound game. I do like how the corners are playing physical. That does worry me. You're going to have Decker and Marshall on the Jets receivers. Eric Decker was a great player for the Broncos.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Thomas got more targets, and he had the tight end, but Decker, he's no slouch.
No, not at all, not at all. And, you see the situation where a lot of teams are watching Marshall, and Decker's making a lot of plays as a result. Because, Marshall's a big target. He's hard to cover. He's real fast for his size. And he's getting all that attention. And Decker's capitalizing because he's slipping through the cracks.
Yep. And with Darby and Gilmore, which I would say is the best cornerback tandem in the league, I will take that, believe it or not, over Revis and Cromartie. At this point, we're 8 games in the season. I would give it the edge. No, I don't know if I'd do that over the Classic a few years ago before the Jets decided to get rid of Rex's two best, two best defensive backs on the team. Brandon Marshall and Decker, they're up for a challenge, and I can't wait because, hey, this isn't a fluke. This isn't just coming after the Giants game that they shut down Odell Beckham Jr. They shut down AJ Green as well. It's no fluke.
Oh no, they're incredible this year. Just, not to beat the term into the ground, but lights out football on that Bills secondary. I like the matchup there on both sides of the ball. I like Gilmore and Darby on Decker and Marshall. And I think Watkins and Woods will give Revis and Cromartie a run for their money.
I sure hope so. I really think they will. I think they would. And
I just hope Watkins keeps healthy, keeps this let's last week be momentum. I hope he's just as fired up and goes out there and lights it up for 150 again this week. That would be fantastic for both my favorite football team and my favorite fantasy football team.
It all comes down to one thing for me, is Tyrod Taylor. And I am not drinking the Kool-Aid of Buffalo Bills land here. I've tried to get myself around, and I still struggle with it, and I will still, if you tell me white, I'll tell you black. I'll play devil's advocate, or I'll just want to argue with you, because I am, I'm just a guy who has to stir the pot. I don't know why. It's from my mom. It's from my grandfather in Italy, R.I.P. Grandpa Enzo. But this guy we would call it, my mom calls it in the family, let's not Enzo this, meaning let's not just break down every little thing and tell me why it needs to be broken down. And that's what I do. I nitpick shit. And I've nitpicked for years. The Bills don't need that good of a quarterback. We just need somebody serviceable. But I got to say, the line of serviceable to sucking and good is a very, 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 very thin line. And we've seen that with E.J. Manuel, whether it was, it was only... Yeah, again, I'm a supporter. It was only a little bit that E.J. Manuel screwed up. You know what? Tyrod Taylor looks the part. He's doing the part. He does not have limitations on his arm like Kyle Orton. And I feel like he's more intelligent football-wise than a lot of quarterbacks in the league that you would call, quote-unquote, serviceable. So, stats aside, or even with his stats, I should say, he's more than serviceable, and his brain.
Oh yeah, I mean
is just there.
He's grading out in the top 10 right now. He's got the 9th best quarterback grade in the league. That's above average. Definitely better than serviceable.
And he makes the smart plays. And
yeah, absolutely.
EJ was quite frankly on the bad side. It was on the bad side. Did he have moments? Yes, but guess what? Every backup quarterback has their moments. And I don't mean that to put him out of his misery right now, because we've talked about it before. I think you're a classless loser if you're going to put people down because they had a bad thing of football. It's like unfortunate that football careers are so short, because these guys, they get wiser with age and their talents diminish. But at the same time, at the quarterback position, that's one of the positions you could play for a while, as long as you have the opportunity,
I mean, yeah, and not to keep defending EJ, but he was missing a lot of guys at a lot of important positions. Is true. And I'm never going to say he's better than Tyrod. I don't think he's better than Tyrod.
I could never say that. I don't think he will ever be better than Tyrod. Tyrod is too smart. Tyrod is too trustworthy in his eyes. He looks off defensive backs. He just feels and looks like he has it. And it was great to see this team against the Dolphins going to the lead at halftime, because I knew whatever adjustments they make would make him even better, because they've been making huge halftime adjustments. And that's what the Bills need to do here against the Jets. Is the key to the game, I think, get Fitzpatrick in 3rd and long situations and get that offense back on the field. And damn it, put up some points. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's Eric Wood at running back and he runs in it. I don't care what you do. I just want to see points up early and just squish that clock. Just get it out. Rex Ryan has a fantastic track record as far as we've seen against Fitzpatrick. I'll keep saying it. The only thing that reverts to me that's bad with Rex Ryan and what is really, like, quite frankly, try not to swear too much, but it's really a mind fuck to me, is Rex Ryan was so great at shutting down that quick, pop gun-ish, short offensive scheme that Chan Gailey ran. But then when it came to these teams running it this year with the Bills defense, he had a very hard time of shutting that down, the quick throws. And that's all that Fitzpatrick did for the Bills. 1, 2, 3, 3-step drop, ball is out. Ball is out. Steve Johnson got paid for route running.
Yeah.
He got paid. He's not a blazer, but you know what Stevie is? He's shifty and he's got mega timing. He knows to be at that spot at that time, and that's what, that's what Fitz did with a guy like that. Imagine Brandon Marshall. Imagine Eric Decker. Like, I'm kind of nervous. They've shown defensively that they don't have an answer for when they get the ball out quick. And it really scares the daylights out of me. It really scares me. Well, it could keep me up at night.
They do okay in those situations, though. The defensive backs, particularly Corey Graham and Darby, are just lightning fast getting to the ball, even on plays where the receptions are made. They're lightning quick getting to the ball and getting the tackle. So you're gonna see some completions from Fitz. He's gonna have a couple 100 yards passing, I'm sure, but we're gonna make him work for it. And I'm confident that he's gonna have a rough day around what our secondary has lined up.
As long as they can confuse the smartest quarterback in the league, well, one of them. I know his arm is not up there with his brain, but it's going to be a tough challenge, and they have been sound against the run, so they're going to want to run the ball, but I'm very confident in the Bills' defense to stop that run. So, any other concerns you have with this Jets team? We know what Fitz is. We've seen some potential out of Ivory, but it seems like Chan Gailey's really tapped into that.
I think this is really the true test of who we are. We played the Patriots earlier in the year, and they are just they're just whooping ass. Enough about them. But I think the Dolphins game, it felt good to get that win, but it felt really easy. I think the Jets aren't gonna give it to us. I think we're gonna have to earn it. I think we can, but it's gonna come down to execution.
I would like to see them again clean up their penalties, but say you pull Jerry Hughes out of that Miami Dolphins game for that stupid Miami or that Tannehill penalty. He realized right off the bat he screwed up. But let's be real, 10 years ago, that you would have never dreamt of that being a flag. Either way, the damn rules. But hey, if you pull Jerry Hughes out, you don't win that game.
No.
That's been floated out there, and I agree with it. If you pull Jerry Hughes out, you don't win that game. And that was specifically a take from the Howard Simon show from Jeremy and Howard. So check that out on WGR 550. I don't want to take credit for their take, but that's
when you're right, you're right.
Right. I mean, good job. As we always say, they do a good job. I'm all set with this. I think the Bills need to put up or shut up on this one, and they need to play sound ball, and hopefully that offense keeps clicking. Hopefully that defense tightens up a bit. And, I'm not a football coach because I believe in the end that Rex has big plans for this defense, and they need to all buy in. Or could it be, which I'm not sure of either, my flip side is, Rex needs to get a hold with Thurman and strip this down. Because, we're not getting the turnovers, but at the end of the day, I will take wins over sacks, over anything else. And don't get me wrong, turnovers help you win the game. Obviously, we know that. But I think they're also overrated. Because there's times where you do turn the ball over, and it's not that detrimental to your team because your defense stops them and you get the ball back anyways. So sometimes it's an overblown stat that coaches in all the old school football really like to. Mike Schopp on WGR Afternoon Show really likes to hammer that point down just to give another credit to somebody else. But it's really, 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 really easy to blame turnovers. And I feel that holding a team to 17 points is good enough to win with the Bills. And that's what they did. And it might come at the 11th hour. It might come really late on the 1 yard line. But this team is ferocious. And they're turning away. They're doing whatever it takes to win the game. If that's Tyrod Taylor taking over that Tennessee Titans game, that's what's going to happen. It's nice to finally see that coming to fruition. That, hey, we screwed up this whole time, but we at least have chances to win these games. And don't forget that Giants game. They should have won that game if it wasn't for the refs. Quite frankly. 2 touchdowns taken back. Don't forget a couple other games, just bad penalties ruining it. And again, that Roby pass interference call. Like the Jaguars are going to convert on 4th and 15. So, you never know. It wasn't a guaranteed. But the Bills have gotten themselves in a position to win. And they're actually getting over the hump sometimes in the close games, which is something that I really haven't seen with this team. Seems like anytime it's close, they just fold. Something stupid happens.
Right, and that's one thing that this team really needs to keep in mind when it's game planning. That building early momentum is what is successful for this team.
I'm all done. That should be it.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Make sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Numb Bills Fan. I'm on both of those at Numb Bills Adam D. We have a YouTube channel. It would be really, really sweet if you would subscribe to that. You can check out this podcast, if you don't already know, since you're listening to it, on iTunes or at numbbillsfan.podbean.com. Again, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with the wrap-up of the Jets game. I'm Adam Deacon.
I'm Dave Palermo. Numb Bills Fan on Twitter. That's Adam Deacon. Numb Bills Adam D. But really quick, tell your friends if they want to listen, just go on numbbillsfan.podbean.com. It actually works like a player.
Yeah.
So you can go right from your browser.
Right,
it'll play in your background. You could even use headphones to pause it. If you got headphones with the pause button, you can pause it from your lock screen and turn it back on. They even have an app I know they have it for iPhone or for Apple. But also, just want to explain something. We have a YouTube channel, and we're always trying to put up some kind of content. We have fun making dumb joking around videos that have to do with the games. We're putting up the podcast in audio form, too, in case you want to send a link out there. But we also have a thing called Italian Contractors. And if anybody's confused what it's about, it's really about the contractors that I've personally dealt with on job sites. And, I always try to keep this PC, but they are Italian. I'm not going to judge, but we have all dealt with these guys before. The classic know-it-all hacks up in New York, northeastern part of the country. And, usually we got a Bills gear in the background. It's all sarcastic, sarcastic humor that lightly touches on the Bills, but it's not really like a Bills thing. This is our serious Bills talk. Then we have our lightly comical keys of the game or little factors on how to beat teams that Adam and I will do. But please, whatever it is, just please check it out. That's what we're going for, is just some kind of content up every week to keep us happy, keep us positive. Let's go. And nothing is better than humor to get over it. Like, we want to talk legitimately about the game, and we'll even have segments up coming soon, legitimate, breakdowns and stats and video replays, especially GIFs. If you're on Twitter, you can check them out. But please follow us on Twitter. We will retweet the best information for you. And as always, we're not here to be competitive with any other podcasts or radio shows or whatever. We just want you to know that there's a lot of places to go. So we're not here ripping off takes. We're not here going over the ledge. We're here to be objective about it. And always check out WGR 550. Check out BuffaloBills.com, obviously. Check out Buffalo Rumblings, Hard Foul Sports, There's a podcast out there, Rock Pile Report. Hard Foul Sports has their own podcast as well. Just really check it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of information out there, and everyone's got a little bit different opinion, and we try to give you a little taste of everything.
Deacon's got a new segment coming up, actually, that will be on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll be going through Twitter and Facebook, looking for Bills-related hashtags. We're looking for those Go Bills and those Bills Mafia, and we're gonna do some segments. Best of Bills Mafia. We might do worst of Bills Mafia. We'll see. Where we look at a variety of the takes, for better or for worse, from around the fan base, and it's really just to again have more content up, offer a little something different that maybe gives you a feel for what's on the fan base's mind. What's the pulse of the fan base? We're gonna take a look at it. So look out for that coming soon. Maybe this week. If not this week, definitely next week. It'll be great.
I think it'll be fun. There's always going to be some kind of content up there. Don't forget, Numb Bills fan everywhere. Just think Numb Bills fan. Where can you type it in? And also, shout out
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, YouTube. We're out there. Podbean.
Shout out to the Red Pinto Tailgate. Go check that out. It's in the Hammer Lot.
Yep, Pinto Tailgate on Twitter.
Yeah, Pinto Tailgate. Do some bowling ball shots. It's always a good time. And it's really sweet seeing a tailgate that has been there for generations now. Yeah. And it's like has just this classic feel. It feels like what tailgating should be about. So many times I go tailgating by myself. I just have like my little S10 all ratty and rusty, and I don't really drink. So actually I've started to pick up drinking, but only the Not Your Father's root beer, which when I order it I refuse to say the name. I go, yeah, you got that alcoholic root beer drink. Yeah, we got the Coney Island or the Not Your Father's. I go with the second one. Either way, I'm trying to pick up drinking to join all you, but I don't like beer. I know it's a sin. I don't care. Either way, go there, check it out. Legitimate tailgate, good people,
good food,
and it's something that's great food.
Atmos food.
Yeah, Atmos food.
Can we get a trademark on that right now?
No. Also, there's a guy going around with some sweet tie-dye shirts for sale. Hey, bud. I told you, yeah, I mentioned you. Okay, cool. We're out. I'm done. You done?
Oh, I've been done.
Oh, yeah, and I should really elaborate. This guy tie-dyes Bills shirts. They're really sweet. They actually look legit, and he had them folded neatly inside Ziploc bags. So, I was pretty psyched. It wasn't some dude with the duffel bag going, hey, man, you want some shirts? And I'm going to charge you $15 for the hat that was $3 at Marshall's from Reebok when Reebok sponsored the team 4 years ago. Or sponsored the league 4 years ago. No, this guy's legit. They're on Gildan shirts. That's what a lot of, if you guys go, buy band shirts or music shirts, or, that's what a lot of stuff is printed on. So they're not going to shrink up on you. I don't know where to find them, so hit us up on Twitter, and I will pass that information along. And I'm so glad that I just wasted 15 seconds to 2 minutes of your time explaining about these tie-dye damn T-shirts. All right, we're really done.
Yep.
And Dean Milak, I don't like you. Goodbye.
I love you, Dean.